Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 3 of the Tracksuit to the Top, here with Lewis FC in the Ryman Premier League. Hopefully you guys are good. Today, as promised last episode, I've got the game against Grays for you. Grays are top of the league. They're bossing it. We are in second. We need to win today. We will have that live con coming shortly, but first and foremost, let's have a look at what you've missed since last episode. So since last episode, we've gone unbeaten. However, I guess rather unfortunately for us, we've only won one of our last 3. In fact, one of our last 4, and in our last 3, we've drawn every single game. Got off to an ideal start in this run of fixtures by beating Hornchurch 2-0. Crab and Fagami with the goals for us. However, things slowly... I don't want to sound too negative here, but drawing 3 games in a row isn't ideal. The first game here was against East Thurrock, a game that we were 2-0 up in with half an hour left, and I think a little bit of tiredness in our legs crept in, and perhaps is the reason we didn't hold on. To be honest, looking at this here, you can see I made 2 changes. One was forced upon us with Randall getting injured. I perhaps could have made another upon hindsight. However, equally, East Thurrock were struggling condition-wise. Their players were equally as tired. However, that momentum that they gained from their goal, I think, was enough to plough them on and spur them on to get the second goal, which made it 2-2. Anyway, the next result was a 1-1 draw against Hendon Town. I want to say it's Hendon Town. It may not be. I'm just giving them a name at the end of their name, or a thing at the end of their name. I don't know what you call that bit. The bit that makes it sound like a team as opposed to just a place. But anyway, we drew 1-1. I don't know where I've just gone with that, but they haven't finished 1-1. It was boring. Branford with the only goal for us. And then in our last game, another 1-1. This time against Leatherhead, who are a team who are second from bottom in the league. I was fuming. We actually went a goal down in this game as well, so we did well to fight back to get the point. However, in reality, we really should be beating a team as low in the league as Leatherhead were. So that's disappointing. In terms of where that leads us, or leaves us in the table, you can see here, I already kind of drew your attention to it. We are in second in the league, 9 games played, 5 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss. Of course, those 3 draws all coming in a row. It's been a little bit disappointing. Fortunately for us, Grays themselves have drawn 2 of their last 4, so the gap only kind of stays at 5 points. However, if you look behind us in the table, Canvey Island in 9th to us in 2nd are separated by 3 points. So in reality, we need to keep winning. Our place is really not that secure at the moment, and 1 defeat could easily see us slip out of the playoffs. So that is a motivation enough, I think, for us to do well in today's game. In terms of the actual squad, still a few players injured. Nevin, who is a fantastic player right at the start of the season, is still out injured. In terms of players who have been featuring regularly, if we look at the average ratings here, you can see... Jack Dixon's done okay for us when he's come into the squad. In fact, he scored fairly recently in a game. He slotted in at centre mid following a suspension to one of our players. Other players who have played well, Muggeridge has done well at right back. He was one of the top players when I came to the club. He's really cemented himself into my first team plans, and as you can see, he's played all but 1 game this year, and a 7.31 average rating for a fullback is really strong. Other players who've done well, Jack Walder's played well, another centre mid. This guy's been at the club for a while, and in fact, in our last game, he made his 100th league appearance for the club, which was really impressive and a cool little landmark that I didn't really expect to see happen, because looking through this Lewis side, a lot of the players are fairly new, particularly following on from the near end, I guess, of the club in 2010. So that was kind of cool. Ollie Rowe, as well, has played quite well when he's come in. One of the issues I've had is with natural fitness of our centre-backs, especially Elphick. I think it's Elphick, and Ollie Rose stepped in well to fill that void when it's been needed. So we've had some good performers. In terms of top goal scorers, the goals have been fairly spread. Interesting to see Nevin, who is slowly coming back to fitness, who of course was injured after the first kind of 4 games of the year, so 5 games since he last played, is still our top goal scorer with 3 goals. Jack Randall's also stepped things up. He's grabbed 3 goals in 8 games. He keeps getting knocks in our matches, unfortunately for him, but you can see here he's done rather well for us, and an average rating of 6.99 is not too bad, really, considering he gets injured a lot and gets subbed off prematurely. In terms of on the assists front, the assists have kind of come from everywhere, but Sam Crabb's done very well when he's come on. He's been a player slotted in, particularly when Randall's got injured, and he's done a good job for us here. Sam Crabb, as you can see, 3 assists and 2 goals is good for him. Branford's played really well for us. Unfortunately, he did get sent off a few games ago, which was bitterly disappointing, but the young 19-year-old, still a little bit to learn, but he's been playing very well for us when he has played. And looking at it here, 7 games this year, 3 assists, a goal to his name and a 7.21 average rating. So all in all, things at the club are going really well. Our schedule is going to be packed. We have got the FA Cup qualifiers coming up. We've got a nice easy tie in our second qualifier round against Brightlingsea. Hopefully we can do well there. I'm not too concerned about the FA Cup. My primary kind of aim is going to be to do well in the league. Today, as I mentioned, we've got the game against Grays. You'll notice here that we played Leatherhead only 4 days ago. So as a result, player fitness is not at its best, but that's going to be an issue that affects both sides. And I'm hoping that we can, I guess, work our way around it, particularly given the fact we have got some players with very good natural fitness. Ollie Rowe is going to come off, however, because he is absolutely knackered. There's been a few other injuries in the camp to tell you guys about that I've not talked about just yet. Perhaps the most notable one was to Talak, who's actually been out. I believe it was food poisoning that struck him down. So he's been out for like 8 days, which for food poisoning's mad, but considering we don't have a physio, I guess that plays a role in that. So yeah, team's fairly strong. I'm pretty confident with the players we have at our disposal. Fitness in our starting 11 is going to be fairly good, which is always a positive sign. We've got some options on the bench as well, so I'm confident, hopefully, going into this game that we can get a result against Grays. We need a result against them, because if we lose this, we go 8 points behind them, and as I already mentioned, the pack behind us chasing us for this playoff kind of slot that we occupy, and I guess the 3 below us as well, in terms of the 3 other spots, are still anyone's game. So hopefully we can kind of step things up here. If we were to lose this, it would mean that Grays have a commanding lead at the top of the table, which would be disappointing. However, I'm hopeful that if we play well and we are favourites here, we can actually close this gap on Grays, inflict their first defeat of the season, and maybe, just maybe, that will lead to some kind of downfall by them as they slowly maybe lose a little bit of the momentum that they've quickly built up. So I'm going to tell the players that I expect to win. I'm also going to tell them I've got faith in them all to go out there and make a difference. They are loving it. So yeah, this is going to be a tough game. It's not going to be easy. We are at home, however, so I am going to stick with our kind of default tactic as opposed to our more counter-attacking defensive tactic, which I have deployed on occasion away, and perhaps goes some way to explaining the games which we've drawn. Sometimes I've switched to the kind of more defensive tactic just to hopefully see out a game, and a few times it's kind of been our downfall. So maybe something I need to be less inclined to do. But we'll see how we get on here. We are playing in our all-red strip, and Randall here, bury that if you can. Bury that. Our assistant advice gets in the way of the goal, but it did hit the side netting. So, unfortunately for us, that is a chance that's gone a-begging. And that was a clear-cut chance at that. And there may not be too many of them in this game. Gray's playing a 4-3-3, I think, with 2 wide attacking midfielders. It's a formation that we've actually done fairly well against for the most part. And maybe we can create a chance here if this stuff didn't get in the way. Get off my screen. There we go. Can we put in a tackle here? Good pressure, but they've still got the ball here. Centre-back's been pulled way out of position. Good covering, however, by number 8. Although now we're caught. Finn at the back. Wilson. Ball in, and Hammond scores for Grays Athletic. Jeff Hammond with his 7th goal of the season. I identified right at the start of the first episode of this series that a goal scorer was always going to be important for us, and considering our top 2 goal scorers both only have 3 goals in 9, you could certainly say that we are lacking that goal scorer that I craved, and I do feel as if that perhaps goes some way to explaining some of our results. Granted, all the draws that we've had in our last 3 have all been scoring draws. I just feel like at times we've perhaps not converted as many chances as perhaps we should be, given the squad that we have at our disposal. But anyway, we're struggling a little bit here. We've got a few fitness issues, so I'm going to just make some changes there. Page is already booked, so I'm just going to sub him off. He was a player who was unfit anyway going into this game, so he's given it a good half an hour. Elphick, the other player, injured. Unfortunately, that double change does limit my options now and as we go to chase this game, but I'm hopeful that if we can continue with the level of performance we have been putting in, perhaps we can find a break point and I guess a gap to exploit in the Grays setup. We've got the ball here. Crab, please bury this. Oh, he misses it. He takes too long on the ball. The defence is able to get back and cover. And that's disappointing. That is very disappointing. Looking at it, Grays have had 2 shots and 1 on target. So, we're running out of time, really. So, I'm going to go a little bit more, I guess, aggressive in terms of how we play. I'm going to look for us to be a little bit more attacking here. We've been the better team, which it hurts to say in terms of we've created more in the way of shots. Rays have not had too many opportunities, but they have taken the one that came our way and we've missed 2. However, there is still time on the clock, 9 minutes left here. Can we work something? So we are going a lot more attacking, so we're always going to be susceptible. And Branford got sent off a few games ago and he's going to get sent off again here, which is absolutely criminal. He cannot afford to do that. It was something I mentioned not that long ago in this very live com, I believe, the fact that he'd been sent off before and it's happened again. The question is now, how do I approach this? Because we've got to chase it. That's the one of the issues we've got, is we've got to chase this game. We can't just kind of sit back and hope. We've got to just go for it and hope that we don't concede too many more. But I mean, we are lacking players now at this point because of the sending off. It's going to leave us a little bit frail at the back. But we'll try and make some minor changes. Of course, there is only 9 minutes left on the clock, which is a shame. But I mean, we have a chance. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to go for a more narrow setup, using complete wing-backs to give us all the width, because we've not got any wider players playing high at the field. Playing with 3 centre mids now, I'm hoping that's going to be enough. However, looking at it, that is not going to make an ounce of difference. And unfortunately for us, Grays Athletic are going to run out 1-0 victors in this pretty poor game, to be honest. It was a poor game in terms of our performance personally, but the game itself will not be remembered in my mind as a classic. It was poor. Brantford, of course, sent off, did not help us as we chased, and fortunately for us, some of the results around us have gone our way. However, it does mean now the gap between ourselves in 3rd place and Canvey Island in 12th is 3 points. We could find ourselves in the bottom half of the table, or near the bottom half of the table, should we lose another game, and that is worrying and that is poor. However, we've got to look onwards and upwards. We've got an FA Cup tie to look forward to against Brightlingsea. Maybe we can do something there. Hopefully you guys will stick around for that. I'm going to round up this episode here, guys. So if you have enjoyed watching, please smash the like button. It does help me out. If you've got any comments with regards to FM, leave them down in the comments. And if you're new to my channel and you just happen to watch this, hit the subscribe button. You get notified whenever a new video hits YouTube. So thank you for watching, guys. Shame we couldn't get the result I wanted there. However, it could have been worse, I guess. 1-0 against a team who are walking the league is not too shameful, particularly when you consider our aim is a respectable league position this year. So anyway, hopefully I'll see you on the next video. It has been me, Jack, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.